All right, I'm here with the 90, Sheldon Arapere. How are you, mate? Good to see you. It's been a long time between chats and between beers.
Yeah, mate, pretty good, eh? Just cruising, family stuff over Christmas and New Year's, and bit of racing with this thing over Christmas. But yeah, no, all round we've been pretty good with the family and everyone else. So yeah, no, it's been good, eh?
Yep, we'll touch on the New Zealand title just a couple of weeks ago, bro. Must have been very special. Of course, your father was a huge influence in this class. We'll get into this class a little bit later, but New Zealand champs must have been pretty cool to go to arguably your home track, where you grew up watching your dad, your brother, your grandfather race these big things around the track. Must be pretty cool for your first New Zealand title to be at that track.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, eh? We weren't sure what to think heading in. We were just done plenty of laps before we went, though, just to get comfortable. And yeah, it turns out we were sitting pretty good. We got a first, a second, and a six on the first night. We were sitting pretty flush with points after the first night, and then yeah, we had two good heats this next night, and we went off grid 6 for the feature, and we moved up a few spots actually. We got right up there, and yeah, it was a bit close being to 3, but then we had a battle and we lost the right rear, which cost us a bit. But yeah, all round the meeting itself was pretty rapid. Obviously, Dad won it there, and he hadn't really raced there since, and just how it all panned out. We had the whole family there and Granddad, and just to race with Blair as well, my brother-in-law, my best mate Jacob. Yeah, the whole meeting was pretty cool. We weren't sure how to feel when we were there, but we just rode the wave and got into it, and it just the whole weekend was awesome, eh?
Yeah, I can sort of see it the way you're talking about it. We chatted a lot about stock cars over the years and Superstocks over the years, but I've never heard you that passionate about a class like the modified class, mate. Going into that class, you mentioned your best mate Jacob. You mentioned your brother-in-law Blair. Your brothers raced it as well.
Yeah.
Is that sort of what drew you to this class?
Yeah, obviously growing up around Dad racing. Yeah, we had pretty good family, like with the frees and stuff going around mods when me and Jacob were kids, and Dad and Pete were sort of doing it together. They were always in my mind, but I went down the stock car road when I got out of a mini stock just because all my mates went that way, and just gave it a nudge, and we done that for probably 6 or 7 seasons, I think. And yeah, we had pretty good success, and then I had a bit of a head knock, and I just had my little daughter at the time, and just, enough was enough. It was only one, but I just could not be bothered with it, eh? And then this opportunity came up with the Pottinger family to run this, and we had a few skids last season, and then went pretty well, and then they offered it up full time for this year, and we're in here now, and I don't think I would look back. The awesome class, bit light on numbers, which is a bit unfortunate, but the racing, when you're racing, it's just rapid, eh? Like, just the skill level was a lot different. Where the stock car, you could just plough them out of the way, a lot of skill still in the stock cars, but a lot of patience in these things. But the whole transition and how modifieds came about, it's just pretty cool how it's worked out.
Yep. You're saying you're a bit light on numbers, but arguably I'd say that modifieds are in a better place than it had been in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
You got likes of Dijkstra stepping into it, Jacob, just to name a few. You've got Redfern from up in Huntly. He's jumped into one. He wasn't at the New Zealand's, but he's got one as well.
Yeah.
I reckon modifieds are in a growing state. They're a lot like TQs. A lot of these drivers are getting out of mini stocks and stock cars and going, hey, we actually can't afford the head knocks and go to work on Monday and stuff like that. Talk a little bit about your car, mate. What is it? What chassis? What engine you're running?
So this is a Raceworks chassis from Huntly. Trev built this. Speaking about Trev, if you've got a spare dollar, there's a give a little up for him for his cancer at the moment to give him a hand. Trev built the car. Everything's pretty basic in it. It's got a 406 Chev. That cylinder head specialists in Christchurch have done this for us. So other than that, she's a basic model and run Clark Performance shocks. He helps us out a massive. So other than that, that's pretty much this car. So
Yep. Can you do much to them? Like, I noticed that the diffs are a lot the same as sort of a sprint car setup. All the arms are a lot similar to what you'd find in other cars, like you see Clark Performance. Are they basically almost like a budget class, but not? Are they? Is the rules and regulations quite tight?
Yeah, I think the rules and stuff are there. Obviously, the budget, if you want to, they're not as expensive as a sprint car, I think. But obviously, the tyre wear is still the same as a sprint car, the same price and stuff like that. But there are a lot of adjustments you can still do in these. like if you looked at the New Zealand's, there's definitely a lot of changes going on between cars and stuff. But the whole round package, like cost wise, is I think is pretty reasonable. Like to go down that road if you weren't wanting head knocks and stuff like that. But yeah, no, just the whole class itself is a pretty cool class. The amount of people that's in it and the bunch of people that's in it is good, eh? So yeah.
Is this a class that you're looking to probably stay in for a bit of time until while you have the car anyway? Obviously, it's a sponsored drive and stuff like that. Is it a class that you're looking to try get a number in and sort of emulate what your dad did?
Yeah, I think so. I'm sort of the guy that starts in something, he's got to finish pretty good. You know, that was the same as the stock car. I didn't want to get out of the stock car without feeling like I had done all right for myself. Where that's why I wanted to get into the mod and just stay in the mod for a bit, just to get some achievements and stuff like that, just to do some laps. But yeah, obviously some pretty big boots to fill if I wanted to go down Dad's road. I think out the back there's just boxes and boxes of trophies from him. But yeah, it's definitely a challenging class to start with. Last season we battled a little bit with, not battled, but just the learning curve was massive, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think we'll hang around this for as long as we can. With the Pottinger family, obviously Craig and Tanya and Craig's parents, they put a lot in, and without them, I couldn't do this opportunity. So yeah, they're awesome for me.
Yeah, we'll go back to Ministocks, mate. You started them at you were 12 years old when you started those, eh?
Yep, 12.
Did 5 seasons in that? 4 seasons?
I missed the season because
your neck?
Yeah, I had a neck injury. I broke my neck at school playing rugby. My second year at college actually, and that put me up for a year and a half. I had to have surgery and took a bone grafting off my hip and put it in my neck and fused a few vertebrae together. So that set me back out of Ministocks. So I think it was almost 2 seasons, I think. So yeah, I didn't do the whole stint of Ministocks, but yeah, I had a pretty good run on my last year when we were up in Rotorua. We done pretty well up there with that. So yeah.
Yep. Obviously, you going through Ministocks, you made like a ton of friends for out there.
Yeah.
What was your most favourite part about racing the Ministocks class?
Like you say, that was where the friendship sort of started, meeting all the mates I hang out with now that I still hang out with. The whole group of that, we'd always go race at the same track, like me and Lofty and Kyle Ashton and stuff. We were always going the same place. You know, we'd message each other on Wednesday saying, where are you off to? Like, we're going there too. So the whole friendship of that, of racing together and going away with our parents and stuff like that, my parents and Lofty's parents, so they got pretty good friends just as well as me and Lofty did doing the racing. So with that whole circle doing that and travelling together and obviously having success and championships and stuff like that topped it off, but just the whole family side of travelling with it together was a big highlight for the Ministocks and getting to know everyone. Yeah,
must be pretty cool to see your nephew Jesse dominating that class. Dominating that class a lot like you used to do with that number 9 number as well. Seeing your nephew in that class, you know, what does that bring back to you?
Yeah, it must just be the number. It's pretty cool. Watching Jesse go as well, especially like seeing Blair and Nicole with him and pushing him to his limits and just letting him go, you know. He's just growing out of his skin lately, like he's just pedaling so good. But yeah, we went down to Wanganui last weekend and watched him down there and it was pretty cool. We'll probably come up to MIP and support him as well. And yeah, it's just cool. I enjoy watching the kids because obviously they're the next thing through the sport. So, you know, if you don't support them and help them, then there's no sport later, you know, like. So it is cool to see the Ministocks kids and watching them drive and, yeah, watching them learn and go good.
100%, mate. You decided to go for the stock car route. Of course, you talked about Lofty and Kyle when they stepped out of Ministocks. They went into stock cars as well. Was that a no-brainer to follow your mates into that class?
Yeah, that's probably the reason I went down that road. The old man always said, you know, have a year off after Ministocks and let the bones and stuff grow and make sure that, you know, we started off in an average car to make sure we actually liked it. And yeah, we ended up getting a car after Lofty went first. He went straight away, so I gave him a hand for a season, and I was like, yeah, this is a bit of us, and done some convincing and some chores around home to convince Dad and Mum to let me go. But yeah, we managed to get one, and I think I done 1 season off that car, and then we actually bought the Westbury from Best Insulation from Mark in Rotorua. And yeah, from there we had that car. It was such a weapon. We done a few seasons in that with ourselves, and then we sold that one. And then yeah, I got paired up with Renee. Actually, no, I had the Super with Malcolm in between, and ran that for a bit. But yeah, the whole stock car scene popped up was because of my mates that went down that road, and yeah, we thought we'll give it a crack too. So
Was it much convincing to get your dad to into a stock car? I know your brother had one years ago, and guys got a pretty nice car out of Murray, long time friend and family member of your dad, and one like that. And Jordan really only did a couple of seasons in it, so I thought your dad might have been pulling his hair out. Not that he had much left, but they let you get one.
Yeah. Oh, it took a huge amount of convincing, especially for Mum for the contact side. She didn't really see it as much in that way, but yeah, we done some convincing, and they let me sort of branch out and do that. Dad wasn't overly keen just because of the maintenance and steel work and shit like that. But anyway, we gave it a go, and yeah, we done it for a decent chunk. I finished the last two, obviously, without Dad once he passed away, but the first half, which we got all these achievements that I pretty much got while he was around and stuff like that, we had a pretty good run. So yeah, seeing his face when I got to NZ and Napier was all worth it. Like, I could just see how proud he was, you know.
Yeah, I can still see his face now.
Yeah, just brought a lot of emotions out that we never really showed each other. Yeah. So that was cool for the whole, and we had the whole family there. Like, everyone was there, and the weekend just fell into place. It was so cool, yeah. It
was a nail-biter of a final, too.
Yeah.
There were cars going off left, right, and centre. Yeah. We thought Brett Loveridge. We thought he had won it, and then Wells had dispatched him. It was just cars going everywhere. In a race like that, would that be arguably one of your favourite races that you've ever been in?
Yeah, probably. I seen Graham put a video up yesterday of an in-car from me at Bay Park when Tony got peeled. Sorry, Tony.
Still for
NZ. Which, that was pretty cool. And then it was actually the following year that Napier was there.
Yep.
And it was 2 years in a row we had two hectic Heat 3s. And the Napier one, I think, probably was a bit more hectic than Bay Park. There was just every lap, you'd just see gear hanging out of the fence or rollover or just shit wrecked everywhere. That would have been probably one of the coolest moments. Yeah, just seeing the whole lot unfold and coming off a bit of glory. It was awesome.
Last year of the straight lining too as well. The two finals before that, I remember Bay Park. You didn't know where to look. Dan Pollock was hanging someone on the fence, and then Keegan Levine was getting boned. And it must have been pretty cool to come through that era of stock cars as well. Sure, they're a little bit like that now, but it's a lot more strategic. You don't have to go in there with the extra couple of buckles up and stuff like that. Did a bit of teams racing, mate. You raced for the Rotorua Rascals, raced for the Young Guns, and also the Stratford Stormers. And
done a year
with the Crushers.
Yeah.
Teams racing, mate. Honestly, that probably would have been one of your highlights as well of your stock car career.
Yeah, that was another thing. There's a lot of convincing to be able to do the teams racing at the time. I was living at home my first time. I think I was only, I would have been probably 19 or 20, I think, my first year. I gave it a crack. In Huntly, my first year in the Westbury. That took a bit, and Mum came to that one, and I don't know if she watched much, but it was cool. We had some great success, you know. We were with the Rascals we done a few seasons. I done 2 teams champs with them, and one with the Crushers and 2 with Wellington. I never won the teams, but I got third 3 times, twice with Wellington and once with Rotorua. And, you know, the finals in both of them, we were nearly the last car going. We had a pretty good run in Stratford with the Rascals against the All-Star, the Alley Cats. Yep. That race was probably one of my highlights. I think there was only me, Keegan, and Shannon still going. Yeah, Brent got hurt, and James Clifton jumped in Brent's car. And, it was just me, Shannon, and Keegan left in the feature or the final. And it was just carnage with Auckland. I think it was the last one going. I managed to get across the line for the win. And, that weekend there and that race was probably my team's racing highlight. Yep.
You suited up in a Superstock. We had a bit of a chat about that. Of course, Malcolm and the Suck It Up crew, they put you up in the Demon race car. That must have been pretty cool to step into a Superstock for a little bit.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So that year I got 2 NZ in the stock car. We had planned to sell the stock car after that. Well, it had sold before we even got to that meeting to Sam Wright. And then we got 2, and then I was like, we've got to keep going now. So then we purchased Mitch's car, the 3NZ car, and we done half a season in that. And then Malcolm came up for the opportunity to go for the Super, and I thought, well, bugger the stock car, I'm not going to turn this down. So we sold the stock car and went with Malcolm on our own deal with Malcolm. And that off season, Dad had passed away after I just got the car, and I was throwing it in that air of just giving it back and not even running it. And I thought, well, he'd want me to do it, so we got into it and we raced it for. We only done half. We stopped after the 240s, I think. So I done the first half. We done a fair bit of racing, and I qualified for the 240s. That experience jumping into that was pretty rapid. Going from a stock car to that was, the supers are everyone froths over a super, So to be out there doing it and lofty, like all my mates had one at the time, just that whole transition from a stock car to a super was a big learning curve, but it was just a bit fresh from when Dad had passed away. It was just, life was a bit hard for me at that time. And I sort of gave up the opportunity, and, I'll be grateful to Malcolm and Suck It Up at that time for the opportunity, because I might not get another opportunity again, but just because he was there, the opportunity happened. It was, it was awesome.
Yep, 100%, mate. And then Blair gave you a skid in the modified. Was it that same season?
It was in COVID. Yeah, it would have been the same because COVID buggered Superstock teams, and we were going to go to teams for the Eagles that year. We were pretty well sorted to go, and all the COVIDs came, and that's when I sort of gave up on it. And I had stopped, and then Blair actually had COVID. And the mods,
that's right.
The mods had organised to go to Wanganui, and Blair rang me and he's like, "Oh, do you want to have a skid in the mod?" I'm like, "Oh, never really had thought about it. This was the night before," and I was like, "Yeah, okay." I was a bit nervous actually, and then Blair's old man Brian brought the car up and let me loose in it. We had a warm up and stuff, and that was my first go. And we actually got 2 wins that night in Blair's car. And from there, I always liked the class, but then having a go just topped it off that little bit more. But maybe I will give that a crack. And then how it all panned out, and I got hurt in the stock car, and this came along. It's just how that all fell into place has been pretty cool.
It's almost like a sign from above.
Yeah,
it all fell into place.
Yeah. This came about, which is another. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So Craig, that owns this car, he used to crew for Dad when Dad raced his mod. Him and Pete were sort of there with him, and how it's sort of fallen into place now of Craig having this and then him offering it to me. The whole, if you step back and look at it, we've looked at it a few times over a few beers, it's just pretty cool to look back and see how it's all fell into place, you know, which has been cool.
Yep, we'll talk a little bit about this class. I know we've talked about the car and stuff like that. Your future going ahead your season going ahead. You've just done the New Zealand Champs. We're going to run here Friday night. Maybe not now.
Yeah, they were a bit light on numbers, but before they chucked the mods on, I'd agreed to help Lofty coming down because he had no crew. So we hadn't really planned to race here anyway. I always had planned to have a couple of weeks off after the New Zealand's just to enjoy family time before I go back to work. So our next meeting, there's a Dykeshire Challenge in Wellington that Ricky and his family have put up, and then it'll be a couple of weeks off, and then I think the GP's in Auckland, and then the North Islands in Huntly the week after, and then we go down south for the Invasion, and then there's another one down south. So we've got a couple more up here, then we're going to head down south for a couple of weeks. Are
you excited to get up to Auckland and try that new track with the big wheels?
Yeah, I've watched a few videos and the lap times and stuff, pretty promising how fast it is, so that's why we want to do it and go up there. So it should be pretty cool, eh?
Yep. Have you raced at Christchurch yet?
We done the Invasion last season, but the motor decided to give up on us down there, so we didn't do much racing. We done 2 heats, I think, and then we snapped the push rod and a few other bits and pieces, so it wasn't really the greatest memory, but it was a pretty cool track.
Yeah, my first time to Woodford Glen, someone was talking to me in the pits, and they said the first heat of those modifieds, go stand at the back of the straight when they go into turn 3 and 4. And it was honestly mind-blowing how much speed you guys carry down that straight. And even through that tight 3 and 4, getting in and out is unreal. It must be pretty buzzy to, obviously race there in a stock car and you're actually Superstock there.
Yep.
And now stepping into one of these things that have probably got double the horsepower and roasting off down that back straight.
I went there and I actually spoke to Blair, my brother-in-law, and he goes, just wait till you go down that back straight into turn 3, you'll be like, whoa. And I was like, whatever. And then we jumped in, and you're just sort of hoping the brakes pull up because you're moving going into turn 3. It's a fast track, and then you come into a stop into a tight corner. So, it's definitely a different track for these things, but it's pretty cool,
Yep. I won't hold you up anymore, bro. We'll get Jesse in here in a minute. The man of many words himself.
Yeah.
Any thank yous, bro, for over the years? I know me and you had a talk, and we were meant to do this a couple of seasons ago when you did get out of stock cars. And there's many people that have helped you over the years, from family to sponsors to people that have put you in cars and stuff like that. Is there anyone that you want to thank, like on the video?
Yeah, so firstly, obviously my parents, without them giving the sacrifice to start me off in the sport, I wouldn't have gained the relationships I did to carry on to the next one. So without mum and dad starting the whole thing, it wouldn't be possible. And then after there, we done it on our own backs. And then Renee Huia and Dan Huia picked us up. Without them and what they put into the sport, into the club in Wellington, and just the drivers they looked after, it was pretty crazy the amounts of money they were tipping in. So obviously them, for not only me, but they took our family on just like their own and looked after our family just as good. And yeah, they were a massive thing for us as well. We grew a good relationship with them. We still have a good relationship. So yeah, they were pretty good. And obviously Malcolm at Suck It Up at the time, he gave us a pretty cool opportunity, and he's still a good mate. We see him and we have a few beers and stuff like that. So yeah, they've been good. And then obviously this current one, Craig and Tanya, and Craig's parents for what they do, and just all my sponsors along the way. We've got actually a couple in particular is Novus Auto Glass in Gisborne, Stu and the Cheryl. Since Ministocks, I think my first Ministocks, they were on my car, and then through then till now, they're still on the car. Like what they've done and helped me out over the times, and yeah, they've been a massive one. And a lot of people that are actually dug in after the old man passed away and wanted to help out, even if it wasn't sponsorship, but just a lending hand. A lot of those people has just been huge, and without them, we wouldn't be here today.
Yep. No, definitely, man. Oh, that's Sheldon Arapere. Like I said, I was meant to come out and catch you a year or so ago, and it just stars never aligned and stuff like that. But good luck for what you've got going behind us.
Cheers, mate.
And thanks for being a huge part of Sparans of Sparky. And thanks for when you sent me all those photos of the old leech car for breaking my page and all the Americans losing their minds.
Awesome work for what you do, bro, for getting out there and helping the sport out, and just lining those things up that people don't really see behind the scenes, which is awesome. Yeah.
Sweet. Cheers, mate.
All good. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.